Hello and welcome to another haul, which isn't that far away from the previous one. Anyway, let's get started. So I've got, all these are DVDs by the way. Most of them are Doctor Who's, but there's two that aren't Doctor Who, which I'll get to those ones at the end because they're, interesting and I've got something to tell about them. So let's get started. So first Doctor Who one is The Reign of Terror. I've watched about half of this so far. It's alright. Not my favourite of the historical ones, but for what it is, it's fine. Here's the disc. Despite the fact that the Hartnell era has been known for the historical episodes, surprisingly there aren't that many that still exist. Most of the Hartnell ones that still survive are more the sci-fi ones. I think the ones that survive are this, although episodes 4 and 5 are missing. The Aztecs and the Romans are the only pure historical ones which I know survive. Next one is a Patrick Troughton one, The Ice Warriors. I've got this one and The Reign of Terror in a 2 for £10 deal at HMV, because HMV, oddly with this one, I'm not sure about The Reign of Terror, but I definitely know this one, normally they still charge £10.99 for it, despite the fact that pretty much all the other ones are like £7.99 or under. I don't know why they haven't knocked the price down, because this one's been out for a while. Anyway, this once again has the 2 missing episodes animated. There's disc 1 and there's disc 2. And I've now got all the Ice Warrior stories. Next one is we're jumping into the 70s with Tom Baker, the only Tom Baker one I've got since last time. Planet of Evil, which is the last one I needed to complete the Philip Hinchcliffe run and to complete the Sarah Jane Smith run. It's alright. I definitely would say for season 13, this one's definitely the weaker of the season 13 stories, but that's kind of not saying much because it's still, I'd say it's still worth watching. There's the disc. And then the final Doctor Who one is a box set. Another William Hartnell box set, The Rescue and the Romans. So I've got nearly all the Hartnell box. So I've got nearly all the 60s box sets. The 60s one I've got left now is Earth Story, so I can get the Gunfighters. Pretty much all the other box sets I've got left now are from the 80s. Which I need to get more of the 80s ones because I've got the most gaps in the 80s for quite obvious reasons. So here's the 2 stories. Here's a 2-parter, The Rescue, which is definitely my favourite 2-parter. The 2-parters, I've not seen that many. I've seen this, The Edge of Destruction and the Sontaran Experiment. I've not seen Black Orchid or The Awakening. And then the final one is The Romans, which is probably the best of the pure historicals. As I've said, there aren't that many pure historicals that still exist in the archives for the Hartnell era. That's actually kind of after the Hartnell era, there weren't that many pure historicals. I mean, you had the Highlanders, which was from the Troughton era, And then jumping up to the 80s, you had Black Orchid from the Peter Davison era. And I don't mean historicals as in the ones that actually have a sci-fi element to them. I mean the ones which are purely historical stories and ones that don't really have that much sci-fi in them, aside from, you know, the Doctor and his companions and the TARDIS. Okay, so that's all the Doctor Who ones, and then the final two sets are animation related. First one is Clerks Uncensored. This is the animated series of the Kevin Smith film, of course. This is actually a Region 1 disc, which I got bizarrely through Music Magpie, which is, they don't tend to sell Region 1 titles through Music Magpie, because usually with Region 1 titles you have to import them straight from America, and you have to deal with imports and so on. But yeah, this is a great series. I don't know which is better, whether or not this is better or the film is better. I mean, the film is obviously a lot cruder, you know, because obviously there's more swearing in the film and there's more sex like references in it. I think this one really does benefit from the animation medium, because, you know, you get slightly more absurd stories in this one, which I like, because I mean the original Clerks film was just two slackers talking in a convenience store. Yeah, but I don't think there's that many people who've heard of this series. It has a cult following. It was massively screwed over by ABC, which was the original network it was on. Only 6 episodes were produced, and only episodes 4 and 2 actually made it to air, which you know, they should have aired them in the production order, which on the DVD they are in production order. So because in episode 2, what episode 2 is, it's essentially a flashback episode to episode 1, and you know, it wouldn't make any sense without episode 1. And of course, this being a Region 1 title, it doesn't work on any of my DVD players, which I don't know why region codes need to exist, frankly. Anyway, I've never come across this sort of case before, but what this disc is a viewing copy, which I've ripped the discs to my hard drive as ISO files, so I can watch them, you know, from there with, you know, the extras and everything. This is a disc so I can watch them on a TV. It's just the episodes and the Jay and Silent Bob introductions. It's not got the animatics or any of the special features, because I would have just straight ported the other 2 discs, but unfortunately they're both dual layer discs and I only have access to single layer discs. Yeah, there's the disc. And here are the 2 actual discs that it came with. There's disc 1 and there's disc 2. So yeah, I'd say if you're a Kevin Smith fan, pick this up. Although, I mean, there's still copies out there on Music Magpie you can still get. I don't tend to import Region 1 titles, usually because you have to, you know, like, pay quite a lot for import fees, and, you know, the fact that you have to make viewing discs to actually watch them. But, so you probably won't see many Region 1 titles on here. And then the final one is a box set. Futurama, The Collected Epics. This is the 4 films: Bender's Big Score, The Beast with a Billion Backs, Bender's Game, and Into the Wild Green Yonder. I've got a bit of a complaint about this set. I got this on eBay because I know this set went out of print a while back, and the films themselves are still in print, I think, but they're on moratorium at this point, so they're pretty much all going to go out of print at some point. And it is quite annoying that the TV series box that I've got, which claims to be ultimate and complete, as you can see right here, didn't include the films, which is annoying because the films are part of the series. And when I got this, it was marked as brand new and, unsealed. Bullshit. When it arrived, it was unsealed, and the cover was a bit, it had a bit of like stuff to it. I've cleaned it, obviously, and there's quite badly a mark right there, which had it was a bit of, I don't know, like fluid or something, and went under the, between the cardboard and sort of like the paper cover, and damaged it slightly. So I covered it over with. You can't actually see this on camera there. You can see it at that angle. I covered it with a bit of white acrylic to cover up the damage, which doesn't look too bad depending on the lighting condition. Yeah, but yeah, feedback was left. This one annoyingly has one of those opening sides, to get to the discs. The discs are housed in thin DVD cases, which is one of the things which does ultimately give us an advantage over buying the films separately, because when you buy the films separately, they come in proper like normal DVD cases, which of course take up a lot more space. But I don't like it when you get these sort of things, because as you can see right there, it's already damaged because these boxes, because I don't know why they just do it like this. I don't know why they just can't have the side open. So anyway, here are the discs. So the first one is Bender's Big Score, which is probably the best of the four, I'd say. I think this one definitely has the best storyline to it. It actually kind of feels more like a movie, and it has quite a lot of plot twists in it. And definitely felt like, a proper like revival, because the series had been off the air for a couple of years by the time this came out. Although the one thing I didn't like about it was it undermined the episode Jurassic Bark. Because Fry was able to see his dog again in this, which slightly does undermine the emotional core of that particular episode. But really, other than that, this is fantastic. It also includes Everybody Loves Hypnotoad, which is basically a 22-minute episode of Hypnotoad. I tried watching that once. I turned it off after about 5 minutes, because in that one day I might try to watch the whole 22 minutes of it if I've got nothing better to do, or I want my sanity to be tested. Here's the disc. The Beast with a Billion Backs, which is definitely, in my opinion, the worst of the movies. I think every Futurama fan kind of agrees this is pretty bad. It's not the worst thing ever. I've seen worse, but by Futurama standards, this is pretty poor. I think definitely kind of like the plot lines. For the first half, it wasn't really going anywhere, and then you got weird tentacle porn shit in it. It's still it's still a worthy part of the collection, but it's not one I'd be revisiting anytime soon. Although this DVD includes The Lost Adventure, which is the video game, which was the 2003 PS2 and Xbox game of Futurama, where they essentially edited together the cutscenes and some gameplay footage and made it into a half-hour long episode, which I'd say it's worth watching. It's infinitely better than the film itself. Here's the disc. then we return to another good one, Bender's Game, which I was finally able to figure out how the hell it ended, because when they show these films on TV, what they would do is they would chop them into 4-part episodes, and those 4-part episodes together would make a season 5. This isn't the official season 5, but fans, say this is a season 5, which I agree with. Annoyingly, Sky One decided not to show the final part of Bender's Game, and they've done this twice. So I've never been able to figure out how the hell it ended until not too long ago, until after I got this, when I finally watched the whole thing. And yeah, I'd say this is a good one. I do think Bender's Big Score is better, but this one I'd still say it's worth a watch. There's the disc. And then the final film, Into the Wild Green Yonder, which is okay. It's just okay. It's not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination. It's not great. It's not bad, but it's not what I'd call good either. It's just kind of average. There's the disc, and also right there, a little bit had snapped off the thing. Which, thankfully these type of cases are more tolerant, so if one breaks off, then it's no biggie. And the discs are fine, they've not got any scratches or really anything, the prints on them, they're fine, they work perfectly, which is, always, like the reason why you buy, which is always, like a plus, because at the end of the day, you're buying things just for the discs. And if the discs don't work, then it's a wasted purchase. Anyway, that's it for the moment. Until next time, goodbye.